Welcome back, all you DC's loving dudes and dudettes. Toyshiz here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another fresh look. And today, we are totally checking out the rest of DC Direct's DC Essentials DCeased Wave 1. We took a look at Batman a couple weeks back. Thank God these arrived. We have DCeased Aquaman, DCeased The Joker, who looks all kinds of emaciated, really cool. Well, looking forward to him, especially DCeased Green Lantern. Of course, it's Hal Jordan. And I'll tell you this, because DC Direct is no longer in biz, they are still producing figures like these ones, but I kind of feel and get the impression that these will be the last or towards the last of what is going to be coming out. I would not say DCeased Wave 2 is coming out. It may, and I hope it does, but I wouldn't bet on it. So if you want this first wave of figures, definitely get them now. I'll have links in the description below if you'd like them. Now, of course, I did say in the Batman video, I said I'll talk about spoilers for the comic. The comic itself, the first issue miniseries, is about a year old now. So spoilers ahead if you want to jump ahead. I'll put the time code, all that kind of stuff. But all four of these figures really are not a big part of the comic book at all. This is in terms of taking prior figures, putting a zombie deco on them, and then having it be fun. And I like that. I want the zombie figures. Not necessarily do I need the human figure, the ones that are not infected, because we kind of already have those, whether from this company or that company. So it makes sense that, yes, you have all these zombified figures, Batman, Superman, what have you, but they don't necessarily play a huge role in the comic. Like, for instance, right here, if you've been seeing, Batman gets taken out real early. Same with Aquaman. He gets attacked. He kind of disappears towards the end of the miniseries. He shows back up. And this was actually pretty cool. And I think he's the most effective because you see him a lot more in terms of doing zombie type stuff. He shows up at the end riding a giant kraken. And this was kind of funny. In like just a fun twist of like this big reveal, Green Arrow takes him out like a mile away, like sharpshooter style, gets him right through the eye. And that's something, as far as accessories-wise, I would love to have seen like an extra head with an arrow. Joker's the same way. He's there for a split second, and then Harley Quinn takes him out. She discovers him. Oh, he's been infected, and quickly takes Joker out. Green Lantern, same deal. Hal gets infected real early, goes to attack Green Arrow and Black Canary. Black Canary does the whole canary cry on him, takes him out, kills him, and then she ends up actually getting Hal Jordan's ring and becomes Green Canary. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun, to be honest. And like I said, I've already looked at Batman. Batman came in the mail early, so if you'd like to look at him separate, I do have that video up, or wait till the end. But rest assured, Batman will show up in this video for scale and all that type of stuff. So I'm excited for these. These are just a wave, a line I've been looking forward to. Even though I don't really collect DC Direct anymore, these were a must-have. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot DCeased cup of coffee. This is a look at the brand new DC Direct DC Essentials DCeased, the rest of Wave 1. And of course, here are all three figures out of the packaging. And no, there's no accessories with any of them. Nothing came with Batman either. But they are interesting looking. This is the type of stuff that I love. It's the Halloween season, and I want to see zombified, monstrous superheroes. Out of the four, I think that these come off as more zombified as opposed to Batman kind of looking beat up. Aquaman, I think it just face-wise, and these are all sculpted by Tom Harding. Tom Harding Studios, go check him out. He looks more like he fits with the comic. He's got, they shred their faces with their fingernails. It's kind of a madness sort of thing as opposed to just being a zombie, like a Walking Dead type zombie. It's a long story, but it's an anti-life equation result. We'll just say that. He does have blood. I think the blood looks good on his really nice orange scaled suit, everything. It just pops better. Batman was a little bit dark, so it's kind of hard to see the blood. He's got a really nice wash in his hair as well. The blood it stops on the front, though. That's it. There's nothing on the back. That's kind of a bummer. I wish it would go all around, but I love the face on him. He's snarling. He looks zombified. He looks like he's sick, deranged. So in all honesty, yeah, I think Aquaman does fare the best, and the blood splatter is really cool, especially underneath his neck, but it's the cuts and everything else. Articulation-wise, these aren't the best. You know, the head kind of just goes back and forth. It kind of looks down. It doesn't really look back at all. But again, for me, it's not really that. I prefer to maybe cock it to the side, more zombie. He's got, you know, shoulder, bicep, double jointed elbows, which is nice. And he also has some rotation in the hands. So it's good articulation for what I'd like to see. The ab crunch is okay. It's not the best. He does have the 2 holes on the side, which I'm not stoked about. He barely goes down, goes back more, so you get some zombie poses out of him. Legs are nice. He's got some thigh swivel, double jointed knees. Just go easy. They're a little bit, you know, thing. He's also got some mid-calf and then also ankle rock, goes back and forth. He's got the ball joints on the wrists and the hands. They're okay. They're not my favorite. McFarlane does do the same type of thing. It works for some figures, and in some cases, it doesn't. Articulation aside, while it's not my favorite, I have to say that I do enjoy a good zombified-looking Aquaman, and he looks pretty cool. And I have to say the same about this Green Lantern. The articulation is going to be the same, but Hal definitely benefits from having white gloves for his costume because it brings the blood out, right? Especially on his face. Now, he does get a little bit snotty, bloody-nosed a little bit, and he's not exactly tearing at his face sort of Aquaman, but you see the remnants on his gloves, the blood splatter. So it's cool. I like that. Same thing with Aquaman, though. Not much blood on the back, if any. Nothing. But he does have a more dirtied costume, much like Batman. Batman was kind of hard to see, the colors and everything, but it was there in the grays. Hal looks good. Give him a flight stand. That's creepy. A zombified Green Lantern coming at you. Now, keep in mind, these aren't zombies per se. They're anti-life. Yada, yada. It's complicated. Go and check out the comic book. Highly recommend it. But it is cool to see kind of Green Lantern just kind of floating there. Same type of articulation as I said, although you get a little bit more movement for his head as opposed to Aquaman. You got ball jointed shoulders. They work nicely. You got bicep, double jointed elbows. Really nice definition for the ring. Not a lot of Green Lantern figures do that. I like the ring on this guy. He's cool. He's got the ball jointed wrists and they look okay. They fit in just a little bit better. Some figures, again, look better than others. He's got an ab crunch. It's okay. He kind of goes back, goes forward a lot better than Aquaman. He gets that more lurch, kind of zombified sort of swag that you can kind of do with him. Ball joints at the feet. He's got thigh. He's got a boot cuff rotation. It's nicely hidden right there in his costume, double jointed knees. It's a good-looking Green Lantern. I like it for what it is. Articulation aside, if you are a stickler for articulation, yeah, I don't think these figures are definitely going to be for you. And then finally, we come to the Joker. Now, again, not really in the comic book, like less than a second, to be honest, but I think the zombified look really takes a hold here. His lips are missing. It's all torn apart on the cheeks and everything. He's got really nice dirtied up costume, the black wash amidst the purple, so he does look deranged. He looks creepy. The teeth and the face. How cool would it have been to have an articulation jaw on this Joker? That would have been hands down amazing. But again, you can't argue. I mean, he just looks awesome. I love the face on this guy, especially on the other side. It's all torn away, just torn fingernails and scratches and everything else. And I love the hole in his head right here. That is a nice touch. I really like that. That's adding a little bit more. That's zombified. That's not getting up, looks like a battle kind of thing. You got hurt real bad. You should not be moving around. His jacket kind of hinders the articulation a bit. He's a bit weird. He's very like a sturdy figure, but it's odd for the Joker. I guess that's the best way to say it. You can't really move him around easily. He's very much, you have to fight with him, right? He does have nice fingers. You know, they're all curled. They have blood on them. One side looks like they applied the blood wrong. It came out white. It kind of looks like the gloves are peeled back, right? Where you'd see his fingertips, but at the same time, it doesn't look right, is what I'm trying to say. Ab crunch is there, but it doesn't work. I can't get him to go. It's permanently stuck. And the same thing with the thigh swivel. I tried it on both sides. It's something you're probably going to have to heat up. Just go easy on this guy. He's very much stuck, or at least that's how my Joker is going. Double jointed knees. He's got feet that kind of rock. It gets hindered by the cuffs of his pants. This is one of those figures We have Green Lantern or Aquaman. You can use the articulation for the most part. This guy, very much just, he's very much stagnant. And the waist, if it swivels, it's not working either. But it's when you put these all together, that's when it's a lot of fun. You put Batman with the Joker, eternal friends, enemies to the end. That's actually really fun to see. That would have been cool. See, that's the thing about DC's. It's not exactly what you would think. It's totally different. It's a good take. Yes, they had the Black Lantern situation. We've had Marvel zombies, of course. But these are fun. There's a fun toy for Halloween. Bring them out during the holidays like this. And I think it would be really cool to have. Plus, if this truly is the end of DC Direct's figures coming out, if we don't get a wave 2, that's also a good thing to have. I just think that's a nice little remembrance to DC Direct. They all scale with one another fairly well. If you have the McFarlane, let's say, infected Superman, actually looks pretty good, I think. If you were to splatter blood, I'm not going to do that, but if you customize this out there, you splatter blood on him, he's going to look good. They're menacing. Give him a few weapons. Give Joker a crowbar or something like that. Give him a little bit. These zombies, so to speak, they're not brain dead. They still function. They still talk. It's creepy. But, there's not much there, to be quite honest with you. Batman, I love that his jaw is kind of off in some cases. It's fun to kind of pair him up with other non-zombified heroes. That's why I think it works. Heck, if you got iZombie, right, from Diamond, it's fun too. Aquaman, they're all sharing and having some brains with some hot sauce, right? Go watch that show. It actually wasn't bad. That's actually pretty cool. They're cool figures. That's all I can tell you. If you're not a big fan of DCeased, if you're not into the whole zombie thing, no, these are definitely not going to be for you. But for Halloween, for stuff that I enjoy, I like, I can forgive the articulation on these because I really wanted them and I think they look cool. Yes, they definitely could have benefited from more zombification. A lot more details, a lot more this and that and everything else. They didn't do it. Perhaps if McFarlane picks up the DCeased brand, runs with it, which I hope they do, we'll see a lot better representations. But honestly, in terms of what to do, there's not much to do with these characters because they're really not in the comics. But I am curious to know what you guys think about these figures. Are they for you? Will you be picking them up? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything DCeased. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, when it comes to zombies or anti-life or just whatever these things are, they're spooky. And that's what zombies should be, and I think these are spooky action figures. And when they do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.